Okay, so before we get started here, we just put some dielectric grease on this guy here, big round plug. That's because we won't be able to access it once we set the manifold in here momentarily.
The other thing we should do before we set the manifold in is put a little bit of anti-seize on each of the studs, because that's going to be pretty hard to do once it's in there as well. So one other thought I just had is that we can get the intake in there and get the nuts on loosely, but I don't think we should torque it until we have pretty much everything back together, because if we have to take it back off again, we don't want to torque the gasket twice. It's only good for one torquing. So put the intake on, put the nuts on loosely, and we won't even worry about the bottom mount until we absolutely have to. Make sure we got all the electrical back together as best we can, and then we can torque the intake to make sure we're only doing it once.
Okay, well, let's see what happens here.
Something's fighting me hard.
I don't think it's that. You're well clear of that.
It's fighting me hard. It's not that.
It's not that sensor either. It's like well clear of it.
What the hell's holding it up then? Something's holding it big time.
Well, I'm not surprised.
It shouldn't be that battery cable. See the light for a sec?
Well, let me... No, it's not stuck on that.
I wish the intake was hollow in between like it should be. Then we'd be able to see what the hell's going on.
Is this cable?
One of the cables.
So that would explain why it's run through the intake.
That doesn't make any sense. We must have them on backwards. They must be turned around 180 degrees or something. Because they're both in the way, not just the one of them.
Alrighty then. Let's pull this thing back off.
Good.
Okay, so now we're going to continue with the nuts after we found the one we lost yesterday. And that's before I'm going to take you right into the action. So we're not going to torque these down right away. We're just putting them on. I guess when we get to the point of putting the fuel rail back on, we'll torque them. So you can't access them.
Basically, once we know that we've got all of the electrical connectors and stuff where they go, then I'll be more comfortable torquing them, because like I said, we can't torque them twice. Like you can't torque it up and then loosen it and then retorque it. You gotta get another gasket then. Perfect. Got all the nuts finally.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna go along and just snug them all, but not really tight.
Well, you can't make them very tight. It's not a high torque.
I'm just going to take them all down until they basically stop moving. The book probably mentions that you're supposed to start in the center of the manifold and work your way out to avoid warpage and distortion, which is a good practice for anything like that. I think already, I guess, so probably shouldn't go any further for now. That'll at least hold it in position while we try and connect stuff.
Now the fun begins, getting all the wiring back together.
So we're going to start with this big circular plug again first to see if I can get it in. I don't even remember how I got my hand on it to get it off, but we're going to try here. Of course, trying to figure out, that was far too easy. But I guess that's how it goes.
Then you twist it to the right.
Yeah, I'm trying. Can't get my hand on it to be able to do that twisting motion, but I think it's
in.
No, there's the arrow down there that's got to match up with, so it's got a ways to go yet. But of course I can't get my hand on it to turn it. Oh, there it goes. Keep going.
If you use your right arm, you might have better luck. Like send it down and then you can get.
Okay.
You'd have to stand
There it
your
goes.
arm to do it.
There it goes. Now the solid arrow is lined up with the hollow arrow, so we know it's in the right place. You see those?
I don't know. The screen's so
So
small.
far away too. I think they can probably see it. Okay. Solid arrow lined up with the hollow arrow. So that part's done, which is great. So
This guy can go back in, I guess.
yeah, so we can put the hose back on the bottom of it first, I guess. So that's this one. Goes on to the bottom of. I wish I could see. Man. Okay. This. Should try and keep track of what order these need to go in here. I think this needs to go underneath. So this has to go back onto here somehow. Like that. Nope, not far enough yet. Should do some kind of, there we go, clicking. Okay, so that's that part back together. It's gotta go back in there, and then this goes on here, yeah. Ow, stabbed myself with rusty metal. Okay, that's good.
That's
I believe this one belongs there, so we can dielectric it. Which is right here.
maybe the reinstallation will go a lot faster.
I'm hoping so, as long as we can not put anything together in the wrong order.
I don't know how you can though when all the plugs are like unique.
Yes, I'm talking mainly about like the arrangement of the plug harnesses and stuff. Okay. That one goes like that.
It's nicely in.
Yeah, if it doesn't go on easily, it's wrong. That's a female, right? No,
Yes.
this one, no, it's a male.
Well, what's around here that it could go to?
That one's
It doesn't go to that. That goes to
that's that one we figured out. Yeah, this is there. There's no other.
There's got to be something underneath that it's got to go to that we don't see at the moment.
Aha, it goes down here. So I should probably goop
Where's the light?
this first. Got it. Rest of this in here. So down there, see that?
Holy smokes. Yeah, I see it.
So this goes down there. Just it would be good if it was on the other side of all this shit, of course. Absolutely atrocious. There we go. Okay. Now which way does it go is the question. It's gotta go this way. And clicky clicky.
There you go. It's in.
Nice. Cool.
Another one of those push clips.
So that one we know where it goes. I'm gonna try and get it out of the way. This one we know where it goes. This one I guess can go on. It goes to the little solenoid on top of the.
I don't think you want to use brake clean on that.
That's not what I want. No, this one. Talking while I'm working. Right. Okay. This one goes up right here. In another horrible place to work.
Somewhere on the throttle body by the looks of it.
It's some kind of a solenoid above the throttle body, yeah. It goes to this, the fitting for that one, which we took apart. That goes up there when we're ready, and that goes on there. But of course we don't want to do that until we do that bottom mount. Oh, I can put this little vacuum line on back here now.
That'll already go off.
It goes, now it goes here. Of course I can't get any kind of upward force on it from there. That goes on. Ow.
Ouch.
Like that. Okay. I don't see anything else dangling in the breeze. This is the vacuum line that's going up there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any other plugs other than this one and that one. Which we're gonna hold off on those for the moment until we get that third mount on.
So the third mount, where did we put that?
That's this one.
So the stud actually came out of the block.
Which is fine, it's not what's supposed to happen, but it's not the end of the world.
I don't even know if the bolt moved.
The nut on the stud, probably not. Yeah.
Okay, so there's no torque value in the Bentley service manual for this bottom mount for the intake manifold, so we're just gonna torque it at about 40 foot-pounds, which is what our resident mechanic thinks we should torque that.
So the biggest challenge is to get it
On there again.
get it in there, get it started, and then I can use the extensions like I did before. But the biggest challenge is to physically.
So we'll actually film this as a time lapse since we can't show you what we're doing anyway. Alright, so before we torque that lower mount, common sense tells us that we should probably torque up the other ones, the other 9, because you're supposed to install this in reverse order to what we remove it, and the 9 up above are removed after the one below, which means that it should be torqued before the one below when you're reinstalling it.
So what are we looking for?
So we're looking for 11 foot-pounds.
So 11 times 12 is 132.
So 132 inch-pounds is what we'll be torquing them at. So yeah, now we're just finishing the tightening up of the lower mount, and then we're going to torque that to 40 foot-pounds.
That's as far as we're going, because I'm going to twist the extension off if we go anymore. So it's definitely not going to come undone on its own. And when you put something like anti-seize on threads, and you torque it to a value, the value is actually higher than that because there's less resistance. Some manuals and stuff tell you to specifically put it together dry, and that affects the torque value. So, all right, so that's the harder part finished.
So now we're spraying the injectors with brake clean, and then we will wipe them down.
Better already.
Yep. Those are not in too bad of condition, I don't think.
No, look. I mean, there's no way to tell without testing them whether the spray is correct or not, but they look okay. So grab this. I'll just give them each a little wire brush and then blow them again. Alright, so you can go ahead and change these O-rings and film it while I prep the rest of the manifold.
So we've put in our new O-rings and now we're going to slot them back into their ports here. So the 4 bolts for that are these ones.
Yeah, and do we have torque specs for those?
I will try and find one for you.
I'm gonna start anti-seizing them and I'll get them in.
So 60 inch-pounds.
Is 5 foot-pounds. That's a relatively small number, but I guess let's just step it up here. Do them all 25 to start with. There was a little bit of adjustment in those holes, but I think it probably centered itself for the most part. The thing I started saying earlier, the problem or the pain about this style of electronic junction is all the injectors have to be perfectly straight or that won't go on. So we'll have a little bit of fun with that when we get to that point. 40. Cool. All right.
Maybe they can take a little more than that then.
I'm gonna go at least to the 5 foot-pounds, which is 60. 55 and 5, 60, and we'll see what that feels like. They might be able to take 10 foot-pounds, but we definitely don't want to break one. They weren't very hard to undo, and they've got anti-seize on them now, so. Let's do 7. 7 times 12 is 84, right?
Yeah. Not a mathematician anymore.
85, 84. There's 7 probably oodles for these things.
Oh yeah, that'll be good enough.
I don't want to go any more than that, that's for sure. So what's next after this? We should probably reconnect those vacuum lines, yeah. Alright.
So the next thing I'm gonna do here are the vacuum lines, which I don't know where the one is, but the other one is up here somewhere.
Yeah, and it just goes right under there. Make sure it goes all the way up to the rib.
It's wet.
Right?
It's wet.
Right. Mix up.
The other one
Yeah.
is there, I think. Yeah, that's it. Is it? Is that a different one?
Wish I could see, would be really good. Shine that light here for a minute. I thought there was another yellow and black stripe one, but maybe I'm imagining things. Let's see for a sec. Maybe. So I guess this one. We should get these things
Ready?
closer to where they need to go here. And this can go
What's that other line there, that darker one?
where?
Those darker wires there?
These?
Yeah.
I think they were just there before. I don't think it's anything that we did.
I think it'd be pretty catastrophic to put the vacuum lines on wrong. I think.
This one is for. Aha. This one is for here. I knew there was another one, so I don't know where that one goes.
That's good.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Unless that one doesn't go there.
Oh, this one definitely has to go here. But there's got to be another piece of another vacuum spigot somewhere that we're missing. It's not. Is it on this thing? No. What else? What else goes on the top of the engine that we haven't put on yet? Aside from the covers.
Just that, I think.
So where does that little vacuum line go to?
It's gotta go.
It's got to go to the. It's got to go back here on the intake somewhere. Wonderful. Take that over there for now while I feed this around the back of it. It's gotta be a
Doesn't even want to
aha,
go.
I found it. It's gotta go on the other side of this thing. So good.
This manifold job is like it's an elaborate game of how many things you have to take apart.
Well, it's just nuts how many wires and hoses and stuff you have to disconnect in order to.
Greg and I have entered the big leagues now.
Oh.
Complicated engine design.
Before this can go on, we have to do these, right? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Where do they go?
We go
Right there, right? Because oh no, never mind. Those are on the top, so you take that back off. Sorry. I think this has to go on first because they have to plug in down here. So these got to stay out for the moment. They go on top, I think. And this has to be the other side, of course. Now we put it on there. I'll put that back up here so we don't lose it. So try and help me get this gently. Don't take it off. Don't take it off. Just help it around. Yeah, there we go. Of course.
I don't think it's gonna work that way.
Of course. What?
Oh, that's fine.
What are you doubting?
I don't think that's the way it's supposed to go though.
What's the word? Muggle? Are you doubting